Hi everybody, my name is Lucy Davis and I am the founder of Activ8U Limited. Activ8U was established in September 2015, so almost 3 years ago now, and I cannot believe that this is the first YouTube video I am going to be doing. I just wanted to jump on today and give a little introduction into me and who I am, where Activ8U has come from and the vision for the future. If you guys don't follow me on Facebook, I've been on Facebook for quite a long time, and Instagram. I do a lot of Facebook Live, so you know, this isn't new territory to me. However, it seems a lot more scary doing it on YouTube, and I'm really not too sure why. So please bear with me, guys. I'm sure this is going to get better as we step through the journey. Anyway, as I say, my name is Lucy Davis, and for 13 years I worked as a project manager for investment banks. I worked for the big players in the field like JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, UBS and CLS Bank here in London. Now, I loved my job. I absolutely loved my job. I started at JP Morgan. I learned from the best of the best. It was just an incredible life that I had. I was very blessed. I managed to get up to a director level. I had a very good style of living. You know, I went on the obligatory 3 or 4 holidays a year. I had what everybody deemed to be success, particularly myself. My preconceived ideas of what success were from my family. You know, my dad's a very successful businessman. My mum always works, you know, the preconceived ideas that we had to follow in these footsteps, you know, get a degree, do this, do that. And that's what I did. That's exactly the footsteps that I followed. And then 13 years into my career, like I say, I was a director of one of the banks here in London, and I had lost my granddad in June 2013, so 4 years ago now, just over 4 years ago now, and it was almost like something happened to me during that journey of my granddad dying. So he knew 3 months before he was going to die that he had 12 weeks to live. And for those 12 weeks, I spent a lot of time with him. I focused on him more than myself. Work kind of, they were amazing. They were very supportive. They let me work from Bournemouth, which is where I'm from initially. You know, they were very, very supportive. So I spent a lot of time driving between Bournemouth and London, which is about a 2-hour journey. And during that period of time, my granddad kind of flooded my brain with the fact that he felt that I was put on this planet to do something different, the fact that I needed to go and shine my light, the fact that I was his little ray of sunshine, and all of this stuff. As much as I heard the words in the June, I didn't really do anything about it. And then in the October of that year, so October 2013, I decided to take myself off to Thailand, which was weird for me because although I'd been to Thailand and I loved to travel, I'd never gone anywhere on my own. And this trip was one of those things where I was like, I've got to do this. I now know it's my intuition, but back then I had no idea. So I hopped on this plane, went to Thailand, met some amazing connections that actually have gone on to change the course of my life. Now, what happened in the March is one of the people that I met when I was in Thailand, I went and met him in South America. And actually I learned so much about myself on that trip. I, you know, went into the Amazon jungle, there were black rats, there was, you know, I did some plant medicine, I did all of these different bits and pieces. And, you know, what happened off the back of that is within 2 months, I'd gone into my job as a director, and I had just said to my boss, like, I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm living a lie. Now, the whole time I'd been working in corporate, my body had been broken, stress, my hair had been falling out, I had an underactive thyroid, I was carrying extra weight, I had no energy, I had tonsillitis, colds, flus, you name it, constantly, all the time. I was just sick, my hair would fall out, you know, a lot of you guys, if you're watching and you work in corporate, you can probably resonate with my story. I was burnt out, I was tired, and these glistens of hope that I'd been given through my journey had just kind of sparked something inside of me. Thank goodness. So in August 2014, so in the May I quit my job, but as a director you have to work 3 months notice, depending on what role you're in, obviously, and I was in a role that wasn't client facing, so I had to honour my 3-month journey. Oh! Anyway, in August 2014, I finally skipped out of my office for the last time, and I went on a 14-month trip around the world. Now, I know a lot of people are not blessed enough to have the capital or to have the freedom or to have the lack of responsibilities to be able to do that. I rented property, I sold cars, I did whatever I needed to do to be able to free up myself. And those 14 months were the most profound 14 months, or at least the most initially profound 14 months of my life. What they essentially did was they opened me up to a whole new journey that I'd never anticipated. I'd always thought that I was too old to go to travel. You know, once I hit 30, I was like, oh no, I'm too old, I need to settle down, I need to do this, I need to do that. But actually this opened me up, and I experienced things that I would never have been able to experience had I stayed in corporate. I would never have met the people that I've met if I hadn't been able to be brave enough to leave corporate. Now, I'm not saying go quit your job, guys. That's not what I'm saying at all. The reason I outwardly share this stuff with you these days is so that you don't need to do that. So for me personally, during those 14 months, I figured out the things that I'd loved. Now, how many people watching this video can sit there and say, you've kind of forgotten what actually makes you tick? Now, what I did on this journey is I made sure that I rolled back the years, and I was like, okay, what made me happy as a child? What were the things that I used to focus on? What did I used to enjoy doing? Like, where did I used to be happiest most? Like, you know, and having the time and the effort and the space to be able to think, it all came flooding back to me. It came flooding back to me that I loved to be running around and doing exercise and helping people. I loved just, you know, loving. I loved to travel. There was something in my soul that needed freedom and needed travel. And obviously the corporate game had suffocated that out of me for many, many years. So after 14 months, and I had this huge epiphany, I'd fallen in love with food, I'd fallen in love with culture, I'd been introduced to the principles of health coaching. So what I did is I brought that back to the UK. So 14 months in, I came back, I started studying a nutrition degree, I started qualifying as a health coach, and I had this huge vision that I was going to change the world by food. You know, it was going to be food and it was going to be health, and this was going to be my journey. So during those couple of years, but basically when I first came back, there was a couple of years where I promised myself that I would go back to corporate as a contractor and earn the money. So for any of you guys who live in London or anywhere around the world, you'll know that contracting as a project manager is pretty good money. So I promised myself that I would go back and I would do 2 years maximum whilst I was creating my business. That's when I created Activ8U. So I came back in the September 2015 at the end. I started working back in corporate in 2015 October, but I'd created Activ8U as my accountability buddy. I'd created it as the thing that was going to keep me on the straight and narrow and keep me focused whilst I was back in corporate. But guys, as I'm sure you can appreciate, for the first 12 months I went back to corporate, because I had these boundaries of I'm just a contractor now, I got used to the money, I got used to the, you know, the things that I was doing. And although I was doing my business in the background, I wasn't hustling. You know, I wasn't really hustling. And what happened a year into my journey was that actually my best friend died. He went away on a lads' weekend away and he never made it back. And that was the next kind of epiphany, profound moment in my life where I was like, no, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Like, you've been given this opportunity. Like, they broke you once. They, you know, you lost your health, and that was enough to make you go and travel for 14 months. Here you are back in the same situation, doing the same things. And okay, you've got this side thing that you're doing, but you're not really doing it properly. And that's when life changed for me. That is when life really changed. So he died on the 6th of November, 2015. And what happened, 2016, my apologies. And in the December, I had a trip. So he was actually buried on my dad's birthday, which is, that was my dad's birthday. He died, he was buried on my mum's birthday, which is the 8th of December, 2015. I then went away for a few weeks. I went to, I had to go to Vegas on a business trip, and then I was going to Thailand. Now in Thailand, I really set myself straight, and I promised myself that was the last Christmas I was going to be going back to work in corporate. Now, Any of you guys that work in corporate, you will know there is a massive amount of stubbornness that gets instilled in us. That's the only way we can get through our careers. So when I came back in the January 2017, that is when I started taking my business seriously. That is when things really started to change for me. Now, I have recently had to rebrand Activ8U. So I've gone from being a health coach to a conscious lifestyle coach. Now, the reason I have had to go on I've had to change, I've had to rebrand, I've had to rework it all, is because actually the journey that I've been on in the last 12 months particularly has been the most profound segment of my life. It has been mind-blowing. There have been signs. I've been living off of my intuition. I actually walked out of corporate because I was financially okay in the September 2017. So as soon as I started taking my business seriously in the January, by the September, I was done. I was out of corporate. So actually the 2 years that I gave myself, it was the 9 months where I worked my backside off, where I actually made this stuff happen. But where the really profound things have started to take place is when I left corporate. So when I left corporate, the first thing I did as a wanderlust soul is I went to Dubai and I took a trip with one of my girlfriends. And you know, looking back now, there were so many signs that were coming through to me when I was in Dubai. And luckily what I decided to do was just trust my intuition. You know, for years I'd been encapsulated in the corporate life, and by, you know, I had to commute and I had to be in work by this time and I had to do this and I had to do that. And here I was with this newfound freedom. So I decided to really start living intuitively. And that is where the rebranding has had to come from Activ8U. So I've gone from being somebody who focuses on people's health, and absolutely that's about lifestyle, but now it's all about empowering people to live true to their values, live to their intuition every single day. And the reason that I know that I'm qualified to do that is that I have been doing it. Now, I am going to take some time to share some of the most profound moments that have happened in the course of the last 12 months in separate videos. Like I say, I've been sharing a lot on Facebook Live, so what I will do is I will save some of the Facebook Lives and upload them to this YouTube channel, so you can actually get a really good insight into what's been going on behind the scenes. I'm also going to post a video that, interestingly enough, came up a couple of days ago on my Facebook, and you know, it's me 2 years ago. And when I say I look different and I sound different, it's empowering to see the transitions that you can make when you start living congruent to your values on a day-to-day basis. And that is why I decided to call myself on my BS and I started this YouTube channel. You know, this is a brand new YouTube channel. I've never had one with Activ8U before. This is a brand new start for me and a huge part of my journey. And all I want to do is empower you guys to feel to feel amazing enough about you to go live life to your true values and your true purpose. You know, I now know, looking back, that corporate was something that taught me how to be fierce. It taught me how to be strong. It taught me how to run a business. It taught me how to be a project manager, which obviously you need for a business. However, leaving corporate is what's really cracked me open and helped me heal. It's what's really opened me up to being, to welcoming these signs that I get on a day-to-day basis. It's broken me free from the materialistic shackles. It's broken me free from, you know, all of the stuff that I used to think, oh, well, I need to do this, I need to do that for this person, that person. And actually, what I realised is that by loving me, all of this stuff will come in abundance. And that is the main thing that I teach these days, is how to love yourself. Because I truly believe, and I know it's certainly what's going to change the world, is by loving yourself, you can then go and turn up to your family, your partner, your friends as your best version. And then you can go on and help them change their lives just by honouring you. And when you love yourself, you are really clear on what your values are. For any of you that can't guess my values, number one, Tide. I've got two that are really, really important to me. Helping people is one of the most important things in my life. But the second one, or joint top, is travel. I have to honour the fact You know, and it's going to make more sense why I say this to you guys when I share some of the Facebook lives that I've done. You know, I have to honour my travel. Every time I leave the country, and I have done since September, since I left corporate, I've had profound lessons. I've had life-changing experiences, things that people would say, are you sure that happened? But I'm telling you, I'm living proof that this stuff is happening, and I wish this for you. You know, this isn't a journey about myself. This is a journey about opening us all up so that we can all go and embrace our greatness. The one thing that I truly believe is that we've all been given a mission. I genuinely believe that my mission is to communicate to you guys that you can have everything. You can have whatever it is that your soul truly deserves, as long as you're honest and congruent with what it is. And the only way that you're ever going to get there is by loving yourself so much that your soul has no other option but to step through and to shine. So guys, I want to say thank you so much for watching video number 1. It feels so weird not having you guys talk back to me. Fingers crossed at some point YouTube will open it up so that we can, you know, have good conversations. But I just wanted to say welcome to my journey. It's been a long journey, but really the last few years have been the ones that have just cascaded into, you know, morphing into a brand new life for me. I genuinely believed, and I'll share a video that says I honestly think that nutrition is my path. And okay, nutrition and health coaching is a huge part of my future, but really it's helping you empower your soul to go and live, you know, the life of your wildest dreams. And the way that I do that is by looking at people's lifestyle, you know, checking out your energy, understanding what it is where your blocks are, and helping you unleash yourself. You know, helping you break free from the shackles that we've all been put in. You know, so don't feel bad if you know, if you have some limiting beliefs. Don't feel bad if you know, if you think that you're too fat or you're too skinny or you're too this or you're too that. Please don't feel bad. That's part of your journey. This is part of the healing. And this is where I want to hold you by the hand and empower you to go and step into your greatness. Guys, thank you so much for listening to waffle number 1. I look forward to sharing with you so much more in the future. Lots of love to you all. Have the most amazing day.